If someone you loved went missing, unexplainably, how long would you search for them? Would you ever give up? This is what Mickey has to deal with in our movie, Drawn Like Moths. This is episode 1 of Drawn Like Vlogs. What's good, y'all? This is Joe Fredrickson here, director and writer of Drawn Like Moths. I want to start off by saying that we have 2 teaser trailers coming out in the next week, and one may even be coming out on a major holiday, so stay tuned for that. It is very possible that you will see those on YouTube. Where to begin? The writing process for this movie actually started back in 2009. The original story was conceived as a television or web series. It had some momentum, went through casting, had actors in place, had a rehearsal, and then never made it to production, and then was shelved for 8 years. After years and years of just writing songs and doing soundtrack work for movies, I helped out a actor and crew member on the movie, Tim Jordan, with a film that he was making with crew member and co-producer Tony Gasperetti and crew member co-producer Alex Stout. So it was great. It was great filming with them. It was great in getting to act again. Things in the production that I had been a part of reminded me of scenes that I had written into that script 8 years back. And I thought, man, that would be really cool to see the scenes that I had written played out on a set similar to the one that I got to be a part of. After hours of filming at night, I think I got home at about 2 or 3 in the morning and just started writing. I've always loved writing. Some of my inspirations for writing are Quentin Tarantino, Kevin Smith, and Dan Harmon. Definitely a big fan of comic books. X-Men played a huge role in my childhood. After going through the script and seeing the similarities and seeing how possible it would be to shoot this movie, it really was inspiring. After I got done rewriting the script a couple times, I sent it to Tony. Tony and I have been friends for years, and ever since we knew each other, we've been talking about making a movie together. So I sent it to him and said, hey, is this something that you'd want to work on?
It was about a year ago when Joe presented me with his script. I looked at it and I was like, wow, this has like a lot of themes that I really like. It kind of reminded me of like Goonies, but for like adults. It also had themes in it that were kind of similar to a movie that I had worked on 3 years ago called Nano Z. It was just a lot grander in scale. So I read the script and I also saw like the technical aspects of it as well. And I noticed that it had a lot of effects and a lot of scenes, but they all seemed pretty doable. I was definitely hooked after I read the script for the first time.
Tony, of course, had been making movies with Alex for years.
Tony and I met in 2011 at Bellevue College. We were in the digital media arts program together. Around that time, he had just done a short film called Mad Dash. It was a short action film, but it was very simple and very effective at the same time, and actually still holds up today pretty well. I saw that, and that was very inspiring for me at the time. It had an influence on some of my own work that I did shortly afterwards. I thought to myself, this guy Tony, he knows what he's doing, and someday I'd like to collaborate with him. And sure enough, a few years later in 2013, Tony approached me with a script called Fallout Sanctuary. It was a fan film set in the Fallout video game universe. Since we did that first film, we've done other Fallout fan films. We've kind of formed our own series of that. We've done a dark buddy comedy about 2 gamer friends. We've also done a movie featuring techno zombies called Nano Z. And so there really hasn't been any film or project that I've done where I didn't collaborate with with Tony. Right around this time last year, Joe approached me and Tony with the script for Drawn Like Moths. At the time, Tony and I just finished up Nano Z. We were ready to start taking that to film festivals, as well as we had a couple other projects that we'd filmed a few years ago, and we're ready to start doing the post-production for that. But when I got the script for Drawn Like Moths, I was originally hesitant to jump on the project, just because I wasn't really ready to start on such a large project so soon. But Tony loved the script, and he was really excited to get to work on it. Tony and I have been creative partners for 5 years now, so if he was going to join this project, that meant I was going to as well, basically. And so I said, all right, I'm in, and I hopped on the train and been along for the ride ever since.
I had made soundtrack stuff for them at the same time, but never really got to experience production firsthand. And I knew if I was to make a movie with them, I'm gonna get something that looks great, and we get along. It helps when you get along with people, for sure. So it's really great to have somebody, actually 2 people on set there that had years and years of experience, because this was my first full-length feature film, and it was quite the experience. Tony and Alex had been working with an actor, Marcee.
I met Tony and Alex a few years ago. They actually cast me in my first film ever. I did a couple of projects with them after that, acting and doing character voices in a few of their animated films as well. Tony kept saying how he wanted to involve me in the production side of things, and he kept saying that. He said, hey, I have this really great script I want you to look at. Joe wrote this it's like a different level. I want you to read this, and maybe you could help out with this one, and just take a read and let me know what you think. And so I read it, and I thought it was pretty cool. I know he wanted me to act in it as well, but I thought I could lend some of my organizational skills to the project. They had made feature-length films before, but this was huge undertaking, just different level. It's been a really fun, really lengthy process, but these guys are awesome to work with, and I love how everyone brings different skills to the table, and I think it's a pretty good team. Go team.
It really made sense to bring her on as assistant director, because she was great at scheduling things. She had gotten stuff done for movies that Tony and Alex had made. It just made sense to make her assistant director, and that helped speed production along immensely. Way to go, Marcee. I thought that I was going to do everything involved with this movie when I started, and it became very apparent early on that I needed help, and these 3 were awesome to work with. We put together a crew. We were gonna make Drawn Like Moths, and then on to the hard part, actually getting it made. But we'll talk about that in the next episode. Thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe for more news on Drawn Like Moths. I'll see you guys next time.